This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, teaching influencers and bloggers how to become successful entrepreneurs. This is episode 128 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today, we're trying out a little something different. You are about to hear an on-air coaching call about product launch examples with Betsi Hill from Betsi's World. We're going to be giving you an actual insider's view into a conversation that happened between her and I as a coaching client. So Betsi is a member of my Scaler Mastermind program, which we will link to in the show notes, that if you're interested in filling out an application, we would love for you to do so. We are creating our wait list right now for our fall spots already. But in this coaching call, you're going to hear us walk through the process of getting Betsi ready for her product launch. She has recently bought a luxury travel course in which she is looking to redo it. She wants to kind of rebuild the structure, but in this process, you're going to hear us talking about her launch plan, what she should exactly be doing. And we're also going to be referencing Launch Pro, one of my signature courses that walks you step by step through your entire launch process. So if you are looking to launch a product or a service, you're going to want to make sure that you pop over to the show notes and get your launch schedule, because you're going to hear me talk about the importance of a launch schedule in this episode. It is what makes or breaks a launch. And as someone who has launched so many times at this point, different products and different services, I can tell you from a personal standpoint that if you do not have a launch schedule that you stick to, you are not going to have a successful launch no matter what. You're going to be trying to change things and you're never going to know what works. So make sure that if you are looking to launch a product or service anytime soon, you pop over to the show notes and grab that freebie launch schedule. It's going to give you an idea of how to kind of outline your entire process so that when you do put the product out into the public to your audience, you are ready to do so. All right, guys, this is going to be a great episode. I want you to feel free that if you are on Instagram stories, that you tag me at Jenny_Melrose and ask any questions that you have, because I know with getting an insider's view of a coaching call, it can be kind of wondering where this is going to go. Feel free to ask me any questions that you have when you tag me on Instagram, and we're just going to dive right into this.
So what I want to talk to you about is to kind of go step by step through what I need to be doing to get this luxury travel writing launched properly. So at this point, we've separated out the Mighty Networks, which is a huge nightmare in and of itself because it's related, go figure, shouldn't be a surprise, it's related to Amazon. So I want to make sure that we do this right. And I've just sent an invitation out on the Mighty Networks forum, because I haven't switched it over yet, to people to join the Facebook group, which has 6,000 members. Now, in that Facebook group, what I'd like to do is to be able to make, I think the only way I'm going to get their email addresses is to give away a freebie, which is going to be, kind of I'll create something that 5 or 10 steps to the perfect pitch.
Yes.
Opt-in. And then I want to get their email addresses. So that's the huge thing.
All right. So the Facebook group that you have right now, 6,000 members, no email addresses on them, and it's a free group.
Correct.
Okay. Yes.
So what my anticipation is that we will start a new secret group that will be like the Pitch Perfect Live group. I don't know whether that's public. That's not public, right?
So I use closed groups. I don't use secret groups. I use closed only because if it can come up in search and it's closed because then they have to request access. I always use questions so that I can make sure I can kind of decipher through if someone belongs in the group or not. And also, like, I don't want, just people that aren't going to be engaged in the group. If they get in 2 or 3 questions, then they're not needing to be inside this group, that it's just going to hurt my engagement over the long run.
Right. So I definitely think that doing the 2 or 3 questions is good.
Yeah.
So do we call it luxury travel writing, or do we call it luxury travel writing live, or do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it should be something, because out of that is going to become the membership group.
Okay, so hold on. So right now we have a closed Facebook or a secret Facebook group.
No, right now we have an open Facebook group.
It's open. Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's open to the public. There's no questions in order for them to get in.
No. And that's what I need to change.
Yes, that is what I would change. And I would still make it searchable that they can find it, because that's a great way for people to kind of come in and try to find a group. All right. So now if we're looking at another closed Facebook group, what is the purpose of that group? Are you looking to do it as kind of like your launch, so that you want to push things into that group to kind of get an engagement before prior? Okay.
Yes.
So the way that I would recommend doing that, because you're not going to be launching obviously all the time. It's going to be like you're looking at September right now.
Right.
So I would use that group as a pop-up, and I would put it on so that you start making it active and available to people like a month prior, maybe. I would move people into that group, or even let them know they can request access to that group until you're closer to launch. And then with that, again, questions, I would do like 2 easy questions for them. Okay. Are you looking to like increase your luxury travel writing? And can you follow the rules of no self-promotion? Like, those are the 2 that I like to use.
Okay.
Quick and easy. And then once they're in that group, you can go through, if you're looking to do like a live challenge in there, where you're going to then kind of, that's your pre-launch, and then you launch the course.
Right. The pre-launch is going to be based on what you did in Pitch Perfect Live. Okay. Like we talked about.
Yep, that totally makes sense. So then you would be going through, doing the training, maybe having a thread in there daily based upon what you want to do as part of it. Once the course is then closed for enrollment, I would archive that group. I don't keep it open so that they can continuously come in. I call it a pop-up.
Okay, so we're talking about the Pitch Perfect Live module is not always open. If you're in it, and you can still access it, but you can't join it.
Yes.
And close it when?
After your cart is closed. So like if you're going to have a launch for a certain amount of time, have you thought about how long you want your launch to be?
All right. So I haven't gotten into the meat of that with Launch Pro yet, and I need to do that. So I definitely, there's some elements I need to set up. I need to get a cart. I need to get a way for them to pay for it.
Yeah.
Do you suggest a beta team or no beta team?
I think that as far as beta, you're kind of in a different place, I feel like, because it's already out there. You've already had people go through it. You've gone through it yourself as a student.
Yeah.
So I don't think necessarily beta is necessary in this case, because you already have all of the material, and now we're just pulling the material out and selling it individually in its own courses based on what that topic is going to be, right?
Right.
So I don't know that you necessarily need beta in there. I would just pull that material out. So if you're going to get a cart, in order to have cart, where are you holding the content? I know it was on Mighty Networks. Where is it going?
I'm going to put it in Teachable.
Okay, so Teachable will process cart. That's why I was asking that question, because I thought that was the case. Teachable you can use Teachable as your cart, as your sales page, and you have lead pages as well.
Yes, and I need help with that. So here's my thing. Jen Slavic did something very basic, and it needs to be. I need to beat that up. And right now I've got a lead page that I'm just sort of playing around with so that I understand how to use it.
Yeah.
But I need some guidance in how to promote lead pages, like how to. So let's backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
If I have an opt-in, then I'm going to create on lead pages. Once it's created and I have that lead page opt-in done, sign up done, how do I promote that, Jenny? I mean, do I promote it like a regular URL? I mean, I know that sounds like it's something that's really elementary, but I don't know it.
Yeah, so it kind of depends upon what you want to do. So there's two ways of doing it. So first I need to know with Jen, are you still using Jen for part-time maintenance or full-time maintenance?
Right now, because we're in this 3-month recovery, she's doing everything for me.
Okay, so you're in full maintenance. Okay, so the way with Jen is because she's, really familiar with lead pages and ConvertKit. What she will do for you is that if you want to, let's say you want to have the opt-in and you want to be able to promote it in content that you're creating. Let's say you create a blog post, right?
Right. I know how to do that. She'll create those clickable images, but once I go back into partial, I want to know how to create those clickable images. Where can I find that information? Is that in lead pages? Is that help in lead pages?
Yeah. So in lead pages, what she's doing is she's creating a lead box, and
right.
the freebie is being delivered via ConvertKit. The lead box is hooking up to ConvertKit so that when they put in the information into that lead box with their email, then it sends them via ConvertKit the opt-in with the double opt-in to be able to say, yes, I want to be on the list and I want the freebie.
I want to know how to learn. I need to learn how to do that. And so that's the whole thing for me. Where do I just ask her to walk me through it step by step, or do I go through lead pages training? I don't know.
So honestly, with lead boxes, it's not like if you get in there and you play with it, it's not going to take you long to figure out. It's really relatively simple. But you're looking for, so there's a difference between a lead page and a lead box. Your lead page is going to be a sales page, a thank you page. It could be an opt-in page if you're going to run like ads to it. If you're going to use promoted pins or you're going to do Facebook ads, that's when you want an actual landing page for an opt-in. So that's how you could also promote it. So like you were asking, well, how do I then promote that opt-in, that landing page? You could have that then URL and promote it via Facebook ads, via promoted pin, however you wanted to do it.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so I need to now figure out. So one is a lead page and one is a lead box.
Yes. So think of it as when it pops up and they put their email into it, it looks like a box.
And that's a lead box.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what I really need to do is to use lead pages as a sales page and as a lead box. Okay, so I understand that. All right, so if I put it on Teachable, then they're going to have the cart, and it's just a matter of signing up. Now, I'm going to break this down into modules. So the very first course is going to be, and I've really had to stop and think about this. I've really had to stop and think about what should come first. So this is an odd point because for a writer, there's two things that come in tandem, really. You have to figure out three things. You have to figure out your story, what makes a saleable story, and then you have to figure out where to pitch it, and that's the research elbow of it. And then you have to figure out how to pitch it. So those three really work in tandem, but they're three different courses, if that makes sense.
Yes, that does.
And I don't want to launch all three courses together. That is not, first of all, that's not a wise use of my time. And number two, it's going to drive people nuts. Okay. So what I would almost like to do is to launch the how to pitch module first and then include a link to some basic, not much, just maybe one module on research and one module on saleable stories.
Okay. Because so technically you're going to pull them into 3 separate courses.
I'm seriously thinking about it. Unless, so let me ask you that's the conundrum. What's the ideal module length?
So I think what it comes down to a course, it comes down to your audience and how much time that they have, right? And what value you're going to provide them with. So course normally has probably, I would say, anywhere from 3 to 7 modules, right? And in each module, there's multiple videos. I would say normally probably another 3 to 7 videos per module. And then
I'm thinking more along the lines of 3 to 4, because quite honestly, after 3, I'm saturated and I can't think.
Okay, that works then. And it also, so the other piece to think about is think about the length of time that the videos are. You don't want to. Okay, perfect. That was what I was going to say. You don't want to overload people when you create the videos. Now, video-wise, are you doing talking head or are you doing like slides and you're going to talk over it?
Yes.
Which?
Slides and talk over, because here's my theory with that. Slides give people something visual to see.
Yeah.
There are some people who are visual learners, which is what I am. There are some people who are auditory learners, which I am. So I want to hear it and see it to reinforce it. And then I want to see the notes at the bottom.
Whether you're a seasoned podcaster or just thinking of starting a podcast, you need to listen to Buzzcast from the folks at Buzzsprout. Here we go! Buzzcast covers everything a podcaster should know, from marketing strategies and how to make money from your podcast to the latest and greatest tech and industry insights to keep you on the cutting edge. Follow Buzzcast by clicking the link in the description or go to buzzcast.buzzsprout.com and keep podcasting.
Okay, so here's something to think about, okay? Because for me, like I've done a lot of speaking and a lot of creating courses. And when my research in finding what works really well is that when you create your slides, you want to be careful that you're not reading exactly what's on your slide to the people. Because the thing that comes down to it is a lot of people get frustrated because if it's there in front of them, they're just going to read it. And they're going to lose any of those examples that you give. So what I would recommend is do bullets. Don't do full sentences, bulleted points if you have to, or if you're really comfortable, do a 1-word picture. So you've seen me do, I've done my Pitch Perfect Masterclass. It is literally 1 picture, 1 word, and I'm going to tell you the purpose of it. So if I have a picture of a girl looking confident, I'm going to tell you why confidence is important for pitching. And I am going to have my own set of notes that I've kind of bulleted out to remind myself of what it is that I want to talk about for confidence.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because they want to be able to, I've seen courses done where everything is written out. And for me, I'm a really fast reader. So I get frustrated when I'm listening to someone else still continuing to read what I already read.
Right. And I don't want to do that. I work better with those bullet points or 1 or 2 words per slide.
Yes. And then you want to embellish on it, give examples, so that you can put it into real life for them. That's really important. Think about Launch Pro. Launch Pro is a great example as you're going through that, because that's what I definitely did is I tried to pull examples from different niches to say, okay, this is what it would look like if you're a health coach. This is what it would look like if you're a food blogger, just so that you can kind of put yourself into the what it is I'm asking you to do.
I like that. I like that a lot. Now, for your video, can I do it on my phone?
Yeah, you can do it however you're comfortable, honestly, like whatever works best for you. Here's the thing. If you're doing the video, it depends what the kind of video it is. If it's talking head, then your phone will work. But if you're going to be doing slides and talking over it, it's going to be impossible to have the slides on your phone. What kind of computer do you have? Do you have a Mac or?
Yeah, I have a Mac.
Perfect. So it's really, really simple to do it actually on a Mac because you have Keynote, which is the presenting.
Right, I know Keynote.
Okay, perfect. You create your slides in Keynote. And then once all your slides are done, there's a button up at the top in the toolbar where you can actually play, like record. It'll say record. So it'll take you then to a different screen and it's going to have all your slides and you hit the record button. They only see the first slide and you get to talk and it records you talking over it.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
It's so easy to do. So easy.
There's no edit. So there's no editing, literally. Oh my God. That is brilliant.
Yes, if you need to. So like there were definitely times where I might have lost my train of thought or something. So you can actually pause it and you can go back a little bit if you need to then go forward.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Makes it really, really simple. So when you're done with the recording in Keynote, you actually just then make it so that you save it as an MP3 or like a video. It has an option for one of those.
Awesome.
And then that video is what you'll upload into your module for Teachable as one of your videos.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. That makes it so much easier. So much easier.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right. All right. So we've gone through that. And then, what I'm going to do for my free 5-day course, Jenny, really is taking them very briefly, 5 to 7 minute video every day, no more than 10 minutes, talking about pitching, how to pitch, why to pitch, where to find places to pitch. Because the bottom line is if you don't know how to pitch, then really all your research is null and void. And if you don't understand how to pitch, then your stories are null and void. And the story module, how to find a saleable story, that really could go hand in hand with the second course, which is the research portion and the story portion. So that could be the second course. So how do I price these courses? Because this pitching course is the first course, I'm tempted to price it for the launch. I'm thinking of pricing just for that. And I think the launch ought to be 2 weeks or a week?
Yeah. So I normally go 10 days, but it really depends on, and my pre-launch isn't counted in that 10 days.
Okay.
Again, inside Launch Pro, it'll talk to you about creating a good schedule for yourself. Because that was my next question, is your plan as far as your launch. Because once you have to create a launch plan and stick to it. You're not allowed to change it. If you're going to do a 5-day challenge, you are going to work your butt off and you're just going to go through it and you're going to push through it. I don't care how many times you mess up. You got to go through it and get used to it to see if it's going to work. And then decide, okay, as part of my launch, what is that launch period going to look like? Am I doing bonuses? Am I doing emails? How many emails am I sending? Again, Launch Pro will walk you through, the emails that you can send, what they can look like.
Okay.
All of that is in there to give you step by step for that. So as far as pricing, it comes down to first, what can your market hold? Okay. What is out there as far as what other people are paying? And if you're talking about that you want it to be 1 course, 2 course, 3 course, you can upsell them as time goes on and have them come back. So value that you're giving as well as market and what's out there.
Okay. So my research shows that these courses are running anywhere, other writing courses are running anywhere from, $97 for a bare bones, not much, all the way up to, $500, $600, $700. And this particular course, the whole course that I just purchased, I told you she was selling everything for $600. That's way too much. So my thought process is, because I'm an unknown entity,
Yep.
that the course probably should be priced at $97 with a $77 launch price.
Okay. I think that's too low. I wouldn't.
Okay.
97 is too low. I'm thinking 197 is honestly what I was thinking.
Okay, so if I priced it $197 for a normal price, what would you price for the launch price? $99 or $129?
$149. I wouldn't even go as low as you're going, because I mean, you have to think about, so Betsi, as far as also the value that comes with it, right? Like, they're pitching ultimately to be able to make money. So if they can learn how to pitch and get in front, they're making their money back, and they're going to make it back in that 197, right?
Right.
Writing jobs will land them that. So, I mean, again, it's going to kind of depend upon, this is kind of in my head thinking of what it would look like. But if I wouldn't let you go any lower than 97. I think.
So here's the deal: 4 stories sold at $50 a pop, and I make way more than $50 a story. Like my story average is $300.
Right.
So selling one story, they paid for the course.
Right. Exactly. And you're talking about pitching, like that's the first phase. If you don't know how to pitch, you're not getting anywhere. I mean, come on, you're talking to the pitching queen here.
Exactly. All right. So selling one story can make that cost.
Yes. And I think that that's the piece, that's part of your sales page and these pain points you're talking about. And you're going to have to talk about the fact that you don't know how to pitch. You're not going to get any stories sold no matter how great of a writer you are, because no one's going to know that you're out there.
Right.
And these are all things like in that sales page, in the module on the sales page inside Launch Pro, it really walks you through like what questions to ask and what pain points to hit on.
Okay. So I understand that. So don't pitch, can't sell stories. I understand that. And you hit on the one thing that it doesn't matter whether I'm talking about luxury travel writing or whether I'm talking about pitching to brands, Jenny, I still don't understand the whole pain point thing. It is so frustrating to me because like that's my weak spot. I don't understand it. So I think when I'm on the hot seat next week, I'm going to talk about it.
Tell me what you mean by pain point.
I don't understand how to identify those pain points.
The pain points of your audience that you're trying to sell to. Oh, wait, yeah, that is I like that one. Actually, that's a great hot seat for you for Mastermind. I think that'll be really great to be able to get some of that from them, because a lot of the people in your group are bloggers that technically could be writers for magazines or whatever.
Well, that's what I got on a phone call. And this is the other thing. I got on a phone call with Nicole Saunders on Monday because she wrote me about something with travel writing. And I said, jump on a phone call with me on Monday. I have an idea for you. And it's, you need to be writing for publication. And she's like, what? I'm like, yes. These people and that's the whole thing. You don't understand. That's why I'm saying that luxury travel writing is one thing, but I think we can repackage this, and I think we need to talk about this. Okay.
I think, and I think maybe it's travel writing with something else. I know you said that like there's a lot of courses out there, because that's why when you just said Nicole, like with her new podcast coming out for these leashes, like it just, I can see that because that's part of what she wants to do is the travel aspect with the dogs. So that does make a ton of sense to be able to, yes.
There was a course that was offered several years ago called Bloggers to Bylines, and I can't use that premise. She's no longer marketing it, but that is the premise. It doesn't matter what the heck you blog about. If you write for your blog, you can write for publication. So I need to maybe think about repackaging this luxury thing, renaming it, not just luxury travel. I have an idea. We'll talk about it. I'll Vox you. But anyway, are you still allowing us to Vox you? Or
yes,
did you put
yep.
that out?
Mastermind members all have access to me via Voxer.
Okay, you know I have a new Vox. I sent it to you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Our half an hour is up. I love you. You know, I play by the rules.
Thank you so much, Betsi. This was great. I'm excited about this.
I am too, and I can't wait. So anyway, we got a lot to talk about. Thank you.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, there you have it. You just listened into one of my 30-minute coaching calls, which is included with my Scaler Mastermind program. So again, if you are interested in working closely with me, you're looking to do a launch, you're looking to really scale your business, make sure you fill out that application for my mastermind program. Like I said, we're starting to create our waitlist already for the fall. Now, with that also being said, if you are looking for that to launch a product or service, if you haven't already, make sure you hop over to the show notes and grab that launch schedule. It is going to help you so much to just have a blueprint to know where it is that you are going. Now, obviously, the conversation that Betsi and I had is one that plans to continue because Betsi is in the Scaler Mastermind program she is involved in is a 6-month program. So she is getting a 30-minute one-on-one with me once a month as part of the program, as well as meeting with her mastermind group, which she talked about in that call, and going on a hot seat where she goes to the group with a specific question in mind to ask the group. And during her hot seat, the other group members give her suggestions, examples of what they think that she should do in order to continue to move her business forward. All right, you guys, I appreciate you all so much. If you like this episode, because it is a little something different, I wanted to give you an insider's view of what a coaching call kind of looks like. Let me know. So send me a message on Instagram stories at Jenny_Melrose. Give me a screenshot. Tell me whether or not this is something of more of what you want to hear. Previously, I have done a lot of interviews or I've done a lot of trainings myself, but I thought this could be interesting for you guys to get a better understanding of what my coaching program looks like and how different it can actually look from one client to the next. All right, you guys, if you haven't already left me a review on iTunes, please, I would love it if you would do so. It helps others to be able to find me. When you do so, use your Instagram handle as your name or leave it in the review because I will then send you a message so I can send you some happy mail. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you all then.